Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Onyinye. For those of you who are new here, you're welcome. It's nice meeting you for the first time. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any content that I upload. You can also tell me in the comment section if this is your first time here. Leave your name so that we get to know each other. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for coming back, for supporting me, for watching my videos, for sharing, for being here all through the years. I really love and appreciate every single one of you. I'm really grateful for you guys. Thank you so much. I decided I was only right that we end this year with a bang. For me, that means like uploading 2 videos before the end of the year. For how inconsistent I've been this year, 2 videos a week is really a bang. So that's how we are going to be ending 2021. If everything goes as planned, you guys would have seen the tutorial for this look that I have on. So cute. I filmed a video of how I came up with all of this fabulousness, and it should have gone up because I plan to upload this on the 31st of December. So compliments of the season, guys. This is the last day of 2021 and it's a blessing, it's a gift to be experiencing the last day of the year. So many people who started the year are no longer with us. They are not here to end it, but we have been blessed with life to end the year and also hope for the coming year. So it's a beautiful thing. So I decided to just end this video by taking stock. This video is going to be a taking stock video, but I switched it up a bit. It's not going to look like the ones that I have been doing previously on my channel. It's going to be sort of like a roundup of 2021. When I had the idea to film this video, I was just thinking back on all that has happened through the year, what my goals for the year were at the beginning of the year, what I was able to achieve during the course of the year, and you know, that's what this video is going to be centered on. And it's not sort of like to put pressure on anybody, you know, this is very far from it. It's just an avenue to count your blessings. So myself, for example, I realized that before I sat down to actually think through the year, I felt like I wasted the year. I felt like I didn't achieve a lot of things that I set out to achieve this year. But going through the whole of the year, I realized that I have so much to be grateful for. The fact that I even survived the year, that I'm alive, that I'm sitting down here and talking to you guys is a very big achievement. So that's what the purpose of this video is going to. It's just to keep track of the blessings that I have in my life. For me, it's to keep me in a gratitude mindset as we enter into the next year, and also to share the lessons that I've learned this year in the hopes that it will help somebody, even if it's just one person, to be a bit more grateful than they currently are, and also to share my lessons so that anyone who wants to learn from it can. Yeah, so that's what the purpose of this video is, and I want it to be interactive as well. So you can leave your comments in the comment section as well. Let me know what you are grateful for this passing year and what you are looking forward to in 2022. So yeah, I think I've rambled enough. Let's just go straight into the video. It's only right that I start with this because it was literally how I started my 2021, and probably the biggest change that happened for me this year. And it's also the area where I made like my biggest mistakes and learned the biggest lessons for this year. So marriage is like the right place to begin. A lot of my 2021 has to do with going from a single lady to a married person, and then living with somebody else and trying to build a life around that. So it was something new that happened for me. So I made a lot of mistakes, and I also learned a lot, and I'll be sharing some of those lessons right now. The first one being that a marriage is not 50-50. Like, it's not, it cannot be. I don't think there's any situation where you can divide like your partnership like down to the middle. I don't think you can split it in such a way that it's going to be equal every single time. It's not possible. I don't think it is. So yeah, that's one of the lessons I learned. Marriage is not 50-50, and it doesn't have to be. My partner and I, we both have different capacities at different times, and there are a lot of other different factors that come into play as well, which makes it impossible for your partnership, for your marriage to be equal in all things and at all times. And it's okay. It really is okay, as long as at the time when one person is down, the other person is giving more. So depending on who has the capacity to give much more, the person is willing and open to do that, so that at every stage of your relationship, at every stage of your partnership, you have like a balanced scale. It is important that you have a partner who is kind and who is considerate and willing to give more when they can, and balance out your shortcomings when they need to. It's also important that in your situation, because everybody's situation is unique, you guys decide what the balance is for you, and you do that, and just keep every other thing outside of your relationship. It's really up to you guys to determine what your balance is. So yeah, that's the first one. Moving on to the second thing, going into marriage, I heard the phrase pick your battles a lot. Like, I heard it a lot, like, pick your battles, don't sweat the small stuff. I even think that I gave it as advice to some of my friends at some point, but man, I'm beginning to realize that it's not necessarily true in my situation. You guys should bear in mind that I'm talking from my experience. So like, I don't think it's necessarily true, because I've discovered that I'm the kind of person that worry about like those little details. If you think about it, those little details are actually where like the whole story lies. Like, when somebody just gives you like an overhaul of something and not tell you all the steps that built towards that. I'm not talking about silly things now, I'm talking about in serious situations. You need those little details to form certain opinions, to form what your truth is. And I sweat those stuff. Like, I'm concerned about those sort of details, and I have decided that in my situation, like, it doesn't make any sense to just ignore things for the sake of peace. It really doesn't make sense in my situation. At least it doesn't make sense for me, because like, marriage is a lifelong journey. It's really long. It's like your whole life. And if you begin to ignore stuff that bother you, how long would you ignore it for? Like, how long are you going to manage that in such a way that you don't now become resentful, or you don't regret things? Because it will get to a point where it's like, it's just that small detail. If you had known that small detail, you probably would have made like a different choice or a different decision about certain things. So I don't want to get to a point where, because I was trying to not rock the boat, or because I was avoiding like a little argument that would have just sorted out some things, we will now create like a big problem for ourselves in the future. So in my situation, if something bothers me, if I'm concerned about a little detail, I'll ask more questions. I would seek clarity in situations that I'm confused about, and I'll get like my peace with those situations. I would always seek to get better understanding of situations, and not just go over them just because I'm trying to avoid confrontation or trying to avoid argument for the sake of peace. What sort of peace are we keeping if that is the case? So in my situation, I've just decided that that advice does not really work for me. Again, it's up to you. In my situation, I have realized, just because of the kind of person that I am, I know there are people who don't bother about those kind of things. They don't care, and for them it would probably work perfectly not knowing those details. They can sleep peacefully at night. They can just move on without finding clarity in those small details, and it's fine. It also doesn't mean that I try to pick fights all the time. It doesn't necessarily have to be fights. It doesn't really have to be fights. It's just like unless you are with somebody who is sneaky, but if your partner is honest as well, it's like, oh, I don't understand what you said about this, how did this happen and how did this come about, and they explain simple and short. It doesn't always have to be it does not have to be all of that. It's not that serious. It's just simple question, simple answer, and the whole situation is sorted. So yeah, that's another thing that I learned. Third thing I learned, which is going to be the final thing I'll be sharing about marriage in this video, is that my happiness is up to me. It's up to me to find things that make me happy. It's up to me to sort out my mental state at all times, so that I am in a situation to give my partner the best of me. It's not up to them to make me feel better than I feel. It's up to me to find what makes me happy, do the things that make me happy, guard my happiness, so that I can come to them as a full person, not someone who is hurting, not somebody who is damaged. And it's up to them to do the same. We can share our journeys, we can share our hopes, we can share our dreams, we can share our hurt, our pain, but they are not my healer. You get what I mean? They are not necessarily always the answer to my problems, even though it's okay to share those things with them, but the burden is not on them to always find the solution. It's on me as well, especially because I am the one feeling whatever it is that I'm feeling. So I probably know the best way to sort myself out. Yeah, so that's another thing that I've learned. My happiness is mine and mine alone, to guard, to seek, and to treasure. Yeah, so that's it about marriage. Moving on to the next thing. This is another big one for me, and honestly something that makes me sad when I think about it, but also hopeful. I had a lot of plans when it comes to like my finances for 2021, a lot of which I wasn't able to do, but looking at what I was able to achieve, I think that I did a pretty good job. Not amazing, not like 100% of what my plans were at the beginning of the year, but I did good. I think I did. I've always been a good manager of my money, I think, especially since I started working. I have had like handle of managing my finances, knowing how much I earn, what goes where and when, and you know, trying to sort out all those sort of details. I think I have been good with all of that. My big goal with my finances this year was probably to diversify my income source. Yeah, so that's like the part where I wasn't able to do much, but when it comes to like managing what I currently earn, I think I have like a handle of the whole situation. But the truth is, the country is hard. Everything got harder this year. Price of everything skyrocketed, and a lot of things happened with my finances, and I'm going to be sharing the lessons that I learned. First of which is that you cannot save yourself out of poverty. It's not possible. It makes sense to like save for rainy days, it makes sense to save for your future, like all those things make sense in in theory, but when you come to like practically, those things are like difficult to do, especially in situations where you don't earn enough to even handle the responsibilities that you have. And if we are being honest, you don't really even have to be living above your means, like for you to run out of funds, for you to, you know, go broke. You really don't need to be living above your means. Things are just unnecessarily difficult especially with one income source. Things are just very, very difficult. It's very easy to say save, it's very easy to say invest, but the truth is, how much are you earning? How much responsibilities do you have a month? After you've sorted that out, what is left to save, what is left to invest? You cannot save yourself, like you cannot save yourself out of all those situations, because are you going to save the money that you need right now to feed, or are you going to be investing the money that you need next month for your rent? You know, it's just like a lot of these things, they're nice, they sound good in theory, but when it comes to practical, there are a lot of things that needs to happen for that to become possible. I've come to realize that earning more is the only solution. Honestly, you need to be earning way more than the responsibilities that you have, so that at the end of the month, after you've sorted out your responsibilities, you still have more than enough to save and invest and actually live life. So you have to look for means to bring in more money. For different people, it will look differently. So for instance, I already have like a 9 to 5. I can sort of look in my 9 to 5 if there are opportunities for me to earn more within the work that I do, or if I would have to provide services or sell products outside of that, to earn more. If you have a business, you can venture into other businesses as well. And if you're a kind of person that has a lot of cash, just sitting somewhere doing nothing for you, then you can look for investment opportunities that you can put the money into, so that your money works for you. It's not just sitting down there. So depending on your situation, you have to like analyze it and look for opportunities to bring in more money, because that's the only way you can build wealth. You cannot save yourself out of poverty. It's not possible. You will just suffer and die for nothing. Yeah, so that's one. The second thing I would like to share is that you cannot create wealth overnight. Like, it's not possible unless you have a great grandmother that you did not know of, that is like Bill Gates sort of rich, and then she dies and leaves you this property and money for you to live life. If you have like a rich relative like that dies and leaves you money, then you can just blow overnight. But if you want to build wealth, if you're not coming from money and you want to sort of build something substantial for your children and children's children, you can't do it overnight. You really cannot. It takes a lot of patience. This is something I learned at the beginning of the year after making like a few mistakes with investment. If an investment or like a money making venture sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. With investment, you want to play the long game. Focus on investments that yield slow, steady returns, and you benefit from compounding interest. You cannot earn $1 million in 2 days or 3 months. It's not possible. You need to dig deeper when it comes to situations like that. So if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Work-wise, I think this was a good year, especially compared to last year, which I would say was not so good for me. With the pandemic happening and transitioning from regular office hours to working from home, coupled with the fact that a lot of businesses were scared about shutting down, all of those pressure got to me last year. I didn't have a very good year work-wise last year, but this year was good. I was able to achieve quite a bit, and there were some other things that I had planned that I wasn't able to do, but I think I did well in my work this year, and I'm really happy about that. I think for 2022, I'm just going to keep my eyes open, keep my options open as well, and look for opportunities that I wasn't able to get to do the things I wanted to do this year. So that would be my plan for 2022. But work-wise, I think this year was good. I don't think there was any big lesson or change that happened for me work-wise this year. I would just say that I learned a lot about myself as someone who works for other people, in the midst of other people. I learned a lot about like situations and environments that I thrive in. I learned to navigate my work well and manage my balance between work and life. And I think the working from home situation actually helped a lot. Like I don't know if it comes across in my videos, but I am a badly introverted person. I think it's a problem. I don't like to go anywhere, and the fact that all through this year I really didn't have to interact with people that much. I think, yeah, I really didn't have to interact with people that much, so I sort of thrived in my isolation, being on my own. I had there was very little trigger for my anxiety, so I was able to function well because I didn't have to deal with people a lot, like physical dealings with people. I didn't have to go out much with Lagos traffic, and like I was just in my space, and I think that really helped. And it's something that I learned about myself as well, that I have a problem, not necessarily a problem, but I am my own person. I can live in my own bubble, in my own space for years and not have to interact with people physically, and I'll be good. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, but I think it can be both, depending on how I decide to manage it. But it's a good thing that at least now I know that I am that kind of person, and it will give me insight on how to, adjust if I want to, change if I want to, or certain things that I want to stop or keep doing. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah, that's it for work life, guys. I think this is probably the era of my life where I'm most grateful for, not just for me as well, for my extended family, like for my immediate and extended family as well. We hardly fall sick in my family. We hardly ever fall sick, apart from maybe malaria here, typhoid there, toothache there, menstrual pain, or like all this occasional illness. In my family we hardly ever fall sick, and I think that's something to be grateful for, that we don't necessarily have to worry about big health issues. That's one part of my life that I'm really very grateful for, because I cannot even imagine having to navigate life and then frequent somebody falling ill here, or somebody having this disease here, or running from one hospital to another, or one prayer house to another. Like, the fact that I don't have to deal with that is something that I appreciate. It's something that I thank God for. It's something that I'm very grateful for. And personally, I can't even remember the last time that I fell ill. I hardly ever fall sick, but I did fall ill this year. In fact, I'm actually just recovering. I took my last set of my last dose of drugs yesterday. So I had typhoid towards the end of the year, and that's probably the biggest thing I had this year, apart from like regular monthly cramps. That's like a story for another day. But yeah, I'm grateful that I don't have to deal with big health issues. I thank God. It's something I thank God for every single day, every single time. Yeah, I'm hoping that whatever grace is upon our lives will continue to fall in the future, because it's something that is good to have. Moving on to fitness, it was one of my goals this year to sort of keep fit, but I think that when I was setting the goal for the year, it was to lose weight. Yeah, and I tried at the beginning of the year, but I wasn't consistent with it, and I just sort of give up at a point. But towards the end of the year though, I think I shifted my mind from losing weight to just keeping fit. And I think that mind shift sort of worked, because this is the first time that I've been consistent with trainings for a 3-month stretch. Like, I did at least it was Monday to Saturdays. I did at least 5 days a week for those 3 months, and it was really nice, just because I wasn't doing it to lose weight any longer. I was just doing it, to stay fit, to build energy. Like, I was doing it as something to boost my mood, like something to make me happy. Yeah, so that really helps. I'm hoping that the mojo will continue in the new year. I'm currently not going to the gym now just because of Christmas holidays and stuff, but I plan to begin again in January, and I'm hoping to do it the way I've been doing it, which is Monday to Saturday, like that's 6 times a week, every single week. Yeah, so that's the plan. Hopefully I'm able to stick with it for as long as possible. So I would say when it comes to health and fitness, I'm good. I did well this year in that area as well. Life in general has been good, I would say. 2021, even though it was a difficult year all round, like at a point on social media it was just tragedy, like it was tragedy upon tragedy upon tragedy. There's no day you go online you don't see somebody complaining about food, about the price of food, about just living. Like it was really bad. I think most people felt um I don't know what to call it. I see the burden of bad government or bad decisions that we've been making over the years. I think everything just fell down this 2021. Like it was really, really difficult, especially financially for a lot of people, me included. Yeah, it was a difficult year, but I think that it was also a good year. There were pockets of joy here and there. There were things that uplifted my spirit. There were blessings that I cannot even deny. The fact that we are alive, for health, for provisions, the fact that even though I had issues, they weren't really big issues that we could not handle. We're not very significant in such a way that we could not handle them. So I'm grateful for that. They say God would not put you in situations that He has not prepared you to handle. So I think that actually sums up the year. Even though it was a difficult year, I think we were prepared to handle the difficulty and come out on the bright side, which is what we are doing today. I don't know why I burst into dance, but yeah, it's to show you how grateful I am that I am here. Like I can't even believe that this year ended and we are here. We are still here. We still have the hope to believe. We still have the hope to hope. You still have the gift of life, and once there's life, there's hope. You can definitely achieve whatever you put your mind to. So yeah, I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful for all the opportunities that I had this year. I'm grateful for all of the experiences. I think even those ones that were difficult, they taught me something that would help me navigate my future as well. I also believe that every situation that happens in life, like every single thing, I believe that they just don't happen. Like things just don't happen, especially like if you are a Christian. If not even only Christians, if you believe in God, if you believe in like a higher power, you know that every circumstance in your life, like every single thing happens for a reason. Things just don't happen. Like I don't believe things happen to me without the ordinance of God. Like His hand has to be in it somehow. And even in situations where I make the mistake of going the wrong direction, He's still there to lead me out of it somehow. Yeah, so I just believe that every single situation happened for a reason, and no circumstance in life just happens to us just to happen to us. They are meant to teach us a lesson. They are meant to bring us from point A to point B. They are meant to just teach us something that would be necessary, that will be important in our growth for the future. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I would like to know in the comment section what your year was like and what you are looking forward to in 2022. I think that's it for this video, guys. This is the time for you to subscribe if you are not yet subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it. I'm so excited for 2022, and I'll see you guys in the new year. Bye bye.